In this video, I'm going to share with you tips and strategy if you are preparing for UGC's NET or SET examination. And we are starting right now. If you are new here, I'm Dr. Vishwanath Bitte, and on this channel I upload videos related to English language, literature, literary theories, just like this one. If you want to gain knowledge in the simplest language, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you will get notified whenever I upload new video on this channel. And remember to check out description of this video because all the important resources and links that I am going to share in this video will be in the description box below. That being said, let the learning begin. In the very beginning, to be honest, one size fits all doesn't work at all. And we all have to create our own strategy. And that is what I'm going to try in this video. I'm going to break down all the important aspects so that you can create your own strategy which will work for you people. Since we are talking about preparation, it reminds me of one of my favorite books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And in this book, the 7th habit is sharpening the saw. Whenever it comes to preparation or undertaking any task, I believe that sharpening saw is very much important, and that's where preparation part comes, because we are preparing for an examination which is going to determine your life, your career. And for that, I believe that if we are not preparing accordingly, we are not preparing very well. Remember, well beginning is half done. That is why preparation is the first part which is most important. You might also have came across Abraham Lincoln's famous quote, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe," which means preparation part is very important, very crucial when it comes to accomplishing any task. If you just follow all these tips, I believe that it will be very much easier for you to clear this examination. When it comes to any examination, I believe syllabus is most crucial part, because that is where we get an idea about the scope and limitation of the examination and what are the important topics that need to be studied, need to be focused more on. And of course, syllabus is the place where we get the clear picture about the examination. To be honest, UGC NET syllabus is not so clear, because especially I'm talking about English literature. If you just go through the syllabus of especially paper 2, and it's just drama, poetry, novel and this and that, and I believe that most of the people, most of the students who are preparing for this examination, they find it very much difficult to actually, what are the topics they need to study, what are the topics they need to address, what are the authors they need to address. And it's only because of that a little vague syllabus, I would call it. I believe that it's not always about completing the entire syllabus in one go, but you should break down that syllabus and then you should address one by one all the topics. And remember, syllabus is the first part to start with your preparation, and well beginning is half done. Once you understand that syllabus, I believe the next step is going through previous year question papers, because that is where you get an idea what are the important topics, what are the topics and how they are asking questions about the topics. And that is why the more you go through previous year question papers, the more idea you will get. And obviously you are going to get a clear idea and clear picture about what are the important authors, what are the important topics, what are the important literary movements, what are the important things that you need to focus more on. Some people used to say that just focus on British literature, but I believe that being a teacher of English literature especially, we should know about all the literatures, we should know about all the literary theories and the language part and everything. So think in a little different way. So you are going to become a teacher, and when they are testing you whether you are eligible to be a teacher or not, and they won't try to just test your knowledge from just a British literature or Indian literature, African literature, post-colonial literature. They would want you to have knowledge of almost everything. And just don't get overwhelmed because I just said everything. I just mean that you should not miss any important things that being a teacher, because when you become teacher and you go into the classroom, that is what they want to test from you, that you have a clear picture or you have an idea about at least all the important events or the prizes or the authors and books in literature. If you're just starting out, or if you don't know where to find these previous year question papers, I already have posted all the previous year question papers for paper 1 and paper 2, especially of English literature, and I'll put link in the description below, so if you are interested, go and check it out. Next, I'm going to talk about paper 1, because paper 1 deserves a special mention. If you want to score more or get GRF, for example, then you need to score more in paper 1, so that obviously your entire score of this examination will be more. There are basically 10 topics in paper 1, and you need to understand what kind of questions they are asking in this examination. If you go through previous year question paper, then obviously you will get an idea. And let me tell you, roughly they are asking two kinds of questions. One is knowledge or fact based questions, and second kind is procedure based questions. Many people keep asking me questions about this preparation, about SAT and NET examination, and most of the times they just focus on paper 2, and through my Instagram account, through my Facebook page, or even through email and WhatsApp, they keep asking me which books they should refer and what is the strategy, especially about paper 2, and they ignore this paper 1. But I believe if you really want to score more and pass this examination, you should focus from the very first day, you should focus on paper 1 equally. And next I'm going to talk about timetable, because that is the most important aspect when we are preparing for any examination or any task for that matter. Then if we don't have the exact timetable for us, then we don't get that clear picture. And yesterday only when I was listening to podcast, I came to know this about this idea, and number of times we just get distracted in social media and many other things. And if we don't have a complete scheduled timetable, then perhaps these distractions will go along. And I remember that when I was in college and as a student, I used to make these timetables before any examinations, and number of times, except that timetable, everything was being followed very carefully. I know it happens, and I believe that it might have happened with you people as well. How to tackle this timetable issue? Because whenever we create a timetable, ideal timetable, and then we do not follow it after 1 month, 1 week, or maybe 3 days, 1 day, whatever it is. I'm also guilty of doing that number of times. If you consider these things, I believe that your timetable issue or this not following timetable issue will be resolved to some extent. First of all, let us focus on how much time you have before this examination. And roughly these exams are being conducted twice a year, roughly in June and December. So it means that either you have 6 months for preparation or maybe 1 year for preparation, and you need to create your own timetable according to that, and divide your entire syllabus or divide your entire things that you need to study into small chunks, and then take one by one. And that I believe is going to help you more, because most of the times what we do is that we just focus on most important things, and number of times just go through that, or some people just focus on the difficult things. Maybe they start with literary theories, and if they find it literary theories are very much boring, or maybe they don't really interestingly understand those literary theories, and they really don't invest or engage with those literary theories, and then it becomes very much difficult. So we start drifting away from our focus, our goal, our syllabus, or everything. Beautiful part of being student and teacher of English literature is that every time you open any book of literature, the most important thing is that there is always something new to learn in our own life. There is always something new to say. Each and every book has a potential of changing our way of life. And in order to not get overwhelmed by the timetable and all the things, I believe that you should create a timetable which is practical and not ideal. Because let me tell you what is the difference. Practical timetable is actually what works for you, and ideal timetable is that's what I want to achieve. We may number of times listen this from other people that they study for 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is, and we want to follow them. I believe that this approach is going to discourage you more than encourage you or inspire you. Because understand this, we all are different, and we all approach study differently. We all understand differently. Our grasping power is completely different from each other. Our interests are completely different from each other. So what works for me may not perhaps work for you, and that is why you need to figure out that sweet spot which is very much convenient for you people. It is possible that you might perhaps be working in a college, or maybe you have many household duties to perform, and there are many things that we do nowadays. In such cases, we find it difficult to create a time. But always remember that if you are really passionate about something, then you will definitely create a time for that. I personally believe that morning time is the best time, and you should allocate your maximum time of preparation in the morning. And if you think that you are not a morning person, you are just night owl, you prefer to stay late night. I'm guilty of doing that also, because when I was a student I used to sit all night, but I don't do that because in the morning we have college and I have to go. So if you are that kind of a person and if you want a little help to be a morning person, I would highly recommend you to go through these books. And this is one of my favorite books, The 5 AM Club by Robin Sharma. And there is one more. These are my favorite books and I keep reading, and that's where I get this entire inspiration. So this is another book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I'm sure that you will definitely get an idea how miraculous those morning hours are. And 5 AM Club, why we should start waking up early, and why all the effective leaders in the world, they wake up early, and you will find it out in that book. My next tip for you people is solve as many MCQs, multiple choice questions, as possible, because all the questions that are asked in this examination are multiple choice questions. And when you are preparing for multiple choice question examination, the first thing that you need to do more and more is solve as many multiple choice questions as possible. So just go through some online tutorials, just go through some mock tutorials, or just if you already have previous year question papers, what are you waiting for? Just go through that and solve all the question papers. And since I just talked about, I already have posted that on my website. Maybe we can help each other by preparing this kind of a mock test. And let me tell you, since we are talking about community and helping each other, I have created one private group on Facebook just for UGC NET and all that. It's almost 10,000 people right now when I'm recording this video. It means that 10,000 people just create some 10 questions each, and not 10,000 because not all of them are active, but even if just 10% of them are active members and they want to help each other, it makes 1,000 people. Let me give you this example why it is so important. Because whenever you are preparing for any dancing or singing competition, and obviously what you are going to do is that you practice more about dancing and singing. Since this examination is all about multiple choice questions, you need to tackle as many multiple choice questions as possible. My next tip for you people is prepare your own notes. And why I keep stressing on this preparing your own notes is because you should create something which you can easily remember, and that's where this creating your own notes comes. And just remember, just don't copy everything into just a notebook and that's call it a notes or something like that. Or even don't rely on ready-made notes, because what other people find interesting, what other people are able to understand just by reading that paragraph or that notes, just by copying those notes or just by going through those notes, I don't personally believe that it's very much effective. But instead, just do this a little kind of exercise. Just read any book, a short story also, and just go through that. Prepare your own notes. And I believe it will help you memorize all the things than just going through somebody else's ready-made notes. Always keep revising your notes. It doesn't mean that you should rewrite all the notes again and again, but try to make it a one-page note. And let me tell you this example. When I was in my post-graduation, almost all papers notes I had in one page. So it's not like I created this one-page notes from the beginning. Obviously, like all the literature students, I had this complete bulky notebook which was completely filled. But later on, whenever you revise that, maybe just put a marker, highlight important aspects. Then at the time of second revision, you can do something similar to that. After just reading those highlighted and important things, you remember almost everything which is written in the first place. You need to revise this syllabus because it's so vast, and that is why preparing your own notes will help you definitely. Next, I'm going to talk about books and resources, and this is perhaps the favorite part of all you also. And number of times I get these questions, I just told you, and they keep asking me about what are your favorite books, what books I should read. And actually it depends, and I already had made one video. I'll put link in the description. The syllabus is revised and I started making videos for you people right now. So I'm going to make another for you people according to the revised syllabus, cultural theories, and there are a lot many things that are added into the syllabus, especially of English literature, and that I'll do that for you. And if you want me to really do that soon, so just let me know in the comments. I was talking about how it is important to just limit your resources, because somebody would tell you that read this 50 books, or somebody will just share PDF of 200 books or something like that. And I believe that really nobody reads all those 200, 300, 500 and 1000 PDF books. I don't think it's required. If you have ever came across this Pareto's principle, which is also known as 80-20 rule, and which roughly says that 80% of result comes from 20% of input. It means, or we can take it in our scenario like this, like if you read just 20% of books and 80% of syllabus or the questions will be asked from that books. So we need to be a little smart and apply that Pareto's principle or 80-20 principle in our syllabus also. Obviously, I'll talk more about books and resources in the separate video. Next thing I'm going to talk about is revision, and I know that you all believe that revision is the most crucial part when it comes to any examination or any task, because you might have heard this number of times that practice makes man perfect, and obviously women too. I had this 1-page notes, and that gave me ability to revise any syllabus, any paper in just few minutes. Many people would suggest you just prepare for 4 months and give 1 month for revision. I used to do this kind of a practice, this little trick. I used to read a book. I read a lot of books, and whenever you read a book, just close the pages of that book or that chapter particularly and try to remember, try to memorize it, what is it, and try to relate to that. That really is going to help you revise for this examination. Since we are talking about books and reading, it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes by Napoleon Hill from his book Think and Grow Rich, and it says, any idea, plan or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. And that's why I would highly recommend you to revise as many times as possible. Next, I'm going to talk about staying consistent. In each and every field, if you want to become successful, staying consistent is the most important part, because you have to take that one extra step, one more step, and that is being staying consistent. So whenever you start preparing for this kind of examination, usually after a few months, after a few weeks, after a few days, it happens that we get a kind of a demotivated and we don't stay focused, we don't stay consistent, and that is the hardest part. Number of times students keep me asking this, that how to stay consistent. You might perhaps have heard this quote by Dwayne Johnson, and he says, success is not all about greatness, it's about consistency. If you stay consistent, greatness will follow. It happens number of times that if you just scroll through your Instagram feed for quite number of times, and then obviously a sudden kind of this urge comes in mind that I want to become a model or something like that, and when you are just going through Twitter and then you start thinking about that, okay, you want to become an activist or something like that, it means that we get involved in lot many little things, and that is a real distraction. So I would highly recommend you not to use smartphone or cell phone in the early hours. Enough of that can for now. And if you really are interested in such kind of motivational talks and everything, do let me know in the comments. And as well as I already have posted few videos on this channel, I'll put links in the description below. Now I'm going to talk about collaboration, and you perhaps might have came across this beautiful quote by Henry Ford. He says, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a progress, and working together is a success. A while ago, I just talked about UGC NET English Literature Private Group, and by doing that, a collaborative work, maybe like I am helping you people, in the same way, if we all start helping each other, I believe that this kind of a success is very much simple for each and everybody. So let's think about win-win situation. Okay, this is kind of a bonus tip. It's very much important to stay motivated, stay consistent, and stay focused, because number of times we just drift away from these kind of things, because there are a lot many distractions, people who are demotivating, and there are toxic people around us. There are some judging people, and they just discourage you number of times. And at such point of time, it's very much important to just stay focused, because let me tell you, if this is going to be the career of my life, if this exam is going to determine my career and my life, and all the things are dependent on this examination, so obviously coming 6 months or coming 1 year is going to be the most crucial in my life. There are some people who spread positivity, just follow them, like on Instagram. You might have experienced this number number of times that there are some people, if you just talk to them even just a couple of minutes, if you just on a messenger, on a chat, on a WhatsApp, you just talk to them and you feel energized. There is this kind of a vibe or positive energy they just transmit to each and everybody. But there are people who are very much toxic. Just stay away from them. Limit your social media presence, because it's just never ending process of just you keep scrolling and wasting your time. And if you just realize how much time you spend waste per day, you will be surprised to find how many hours, how many days, how many months of your life are just spent on scrolling. Finally, I just want to ask you this question. If you have some tips to share with other people, just post them in the comments. Or maybe if you are just struggling with any one particular tip and you are not able to follow that, so what is the difficulty, or what is that question that you want to ask me? Just post in the comment below. I read all the comments and I'll definitely reply to your comment. I believe that this talk was helpful to you people, and if you really enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to stay connected with me on social media, I'll put links in the description. Bye. See you in the next video.